Hey guys, if you're a real estate entrepreneur or an investor, you probably question what the role of US politics and specifically the presidency has on the market and on your investments. Since President Trump made his millions in real estate development, one can assume that he wouldn't make a decision that would adversely affect his investments. However, if we have learned anything about the current political climate, it's one thing, and that is it's very difficult to know what's going to happen next. And while the country is polarized on a variety of issues, we as entrepreneurs and investors have a duty to do what's best, and that is to buy real estate and provide homes for people. I'm not a politician, and I don't want to guess what will hit the news wire in the next hour about something that will not directly impact my life. I'm a real estate entrepreneur. And from a real estate perspective, Trump or anyone else for that matter in the House or Senate should not have any negative effect on what we do as real estate entrepreneurs. We cannot make investment decisions based on who is president, what they're tweeting on social media, or what the talking heads on TV are saying on either side. Rather, there are three fundamental rules as investors that we must follow in order to take advantage of the current market cycle, but also prosper when the market turns. And here they are. Okay, number one, buy for cash flow, never for appreciation. When people think of real estate, people consider the values that how they increase over time, just as a matter of course. And according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, prices for housing were just over 52% higher in 2018 versus 2000. So that means a house valued at $100,000 in 2000 would cost $152,000 today in 2018 for an equivalent purchase. This is called natural appreciation, and it is simply the rise of an investment over the future in the future's time. All right, in the future of time. This means that you almost have no control over the appreciation. On the other hand, forced appreciation involves making improvements to a property, increasing the value, decreasing expenses, and it's going to drive your NOI, your net operating income, and it increases the overall property valuation. So if you purchase a multifamily deal for, like, say, $2 million, and you drive improvements, you reduce some unneeded expenses, you offer some new amenities that the tenants love to pay for, that property may be worth $4 million in the future because you made all the improvements, you reduced the costs, and you increased income. In that case, you are actively taking part in increasing the property's present value as well as your investor returns. Many investors have bought for natural appreciation, and oftentimes it's the non-professional investors that believe that this is the only type of appreciation because it's the only one that they're familiar with. And it's what most of us has actually grown up with. I personally never buy expecting natural appreciation to kick in. I always buy for cash flow. That's the reason why I do this is because I know that if the property is doing well and it's well maintained and there's plenty of renters in the market, there's plenty of employment out there, it won't be a matter of the market going bad. If you run your property well, you make improvements, and you position it as a nice place to live, the property will perform. People want to be there, even if the market turns. Number two, don't use too much leverage. One of the great benefits to buying real estate here in the US is that you can leverage to multiply your money to take down a deal. So for example, if you decide you want to invest $200,000 in Ford stock, you can only control $200,000 of that stock, which is really nothing. However, if you want to invest that same $200,000 as a down payment in a building, in $1 million building, and you're able to get an 80% loan to value, you would now be able to control $1 million asset because the bank's coming in with $800,000. This is the power of leverage. But this can also lead to problems if you don't do it right. The less money you put down in a deal, the more leveraged you are. So this means that your mortgage payment will be much higher. So in a hot market, over leveraging maybe seem like a good idea, and some banks will even back you on it. But if the market turns and the values drops and the income falls along with it, you're going to have to cover that note. And next thing you know, you're going to be in hot water. Okay, my partners and I We never have less than 20% equity in a deal, and we're usually sitting at somewhere between 25 to 30%. There are lenders that will do the 0% down thing, but you must avoid this. This will prevent you from getting burned in the event of a downturn. Number 3, don't get forced into selling before your plan. One of the primary reasons that people are forced to sell or turn their properties back over to the bank is because they bought for natural appreciation, or they just simply over leveraged. Something that's very typical in commercial and multifamily real estate is that there's a balloon payment on the loan. So this can become a problem if there's a big balloon payment that's due in the middle of a market downturn and you don't have the reserves to pay it. And that's a huge problem right there. The best thing to do in this case, if you do have a loan with a balloon, is to plan it years in advance, or even before you actually sign for it, what the exit strategy will be. You know, you're going to do a refi, you're going to pay it off before, you're going to get a refi, you're going to bring in other investors, this sort of thing. It's already planned out. By applying these 3 rules, you can build a strong portfolio of real estate while providing your investors with nice, healthy returns. The rules will serve you well, regardless of what Trump tweets or what he does in the White House. Okay, so anyway, let me know what you guys think. Do you use these rules every day? I'd love to hear from you. Leave your responses in the comments below, and if you like the video, please go ahead and share it. Thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.